Hi, good evening, Bhargav. I'm Paul Quayle, the Director of APAC Assistance. With me is Bhargav Reddy, the Operational Director based out of Bangalore. I'm in Singapore, if I didn't already mention that. There we go, the memory of a sieve. Bhargav, a couple of things I want you to cover off on today, probably the two major issues going on in India, namely the nationwide farmers' strike, which is, obviously growing geographically, but also the BJP's threats to shut down in Bengal. And if you'd also cover off on Bangladesh and the nature of the protests there, how serious they are and the police actions.
Thank you, Paul. So the farmer protests, which started a couple of weeks ago, have gotten much worse. In fact, farmers have entered Delhi and have caused quite a few disruptions, especially disrupting the supply chain route coming from some of the market yards into Delhi. So necessities, basically agricultural necessities, have been disrupted. For businesses, the farm bill is a controversial aspect on which the farmers are protesting. It's unlikely to have an impact on businesses because it is primarily targeted at how farmers market their produce or how they sell their produce soon after the harvest, unless the businesses are in food aggregation or food production. Now, the contentious issue here is that under the new bill, there multiple provisions have been made wherein farmers have been enabled to sell outside the government-run market yards, where the middlemen take a certain commission while delivering a set of services. Now, this system was already controversial, and BJP government has been quite brave, let me say, to tackle that head on. Now, anything related to the farmers in India is going to be political and it's going to be emotional. Whether it's rationally viable or not, the moment farmers protest, most politicians feel compelled to support them, whether they agree with the bill or not, whether the economics agree with it or not. So it's a fairly complicated scenario. Like the BJP has been on the back foot, especially since farmers have entered the capital city, they have been on the back foot without a major decisive statement coming from the Modi/Amit Shah leadership. Amit Shah is the current home minister. He is responsible for, he's basically seen as the troubleshooter or the master strategist for the current government, the BJP government, Bharatiya Janata Party government. Now, the right-wing government, they basically portray themselves as pro-liberal economy or pro-corporate. And the same is being used against them by the regional governments led by Congress. In Punjab, especially, most of the farmers are coming from Punjab. And in Punjab, the government in power is by the opposition party of the Congress. Chief Minister Amrinder Singh has been in the forefront in support of the farmers. And it's a quagmire, actually. In most of the country, as you see, the support for such a strike isn't as strong because they would like to try out another system wherein they need not be trapped by a single market and the middlemen. However, the same system has worked wonders with procurement rate as high as 80 to 90% in Punjab. That means 90% of the produce have been procured by a single market yard run by the government. But that's not true of some of the other southern states where agriculture is equally important, right? So the country is quite divided. However, the focus still remains on the farmers and the disruptions being caused around the capital city. And apparently with the nationwide strike, the disruptions have been felt across the country as well. Now, for businesses, they need not really focus on the farm bill itself, which has already been passed by both houses of the parliament in the center, but they need to take care of the supply chains as well as their operations. Like there could be disruptions in terms of transport networks. They actually support the farmers and they stop their services for a prolonged period of time, or there could be some minor scuffles. Until now, most of the protests have been quite peaceful and very civilized, especially in major cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, and Chennai. Despite their focus on agriculture, their support has been quite minimal, and they're paid lip service in support of farmers, but not in reality. I mean, they have been quite civilized. If they did support it, then there would be a lot of supports around these areas, except in Punjab. Punjab is again quite complicated in the sense uh, farming community being on the forefront of their culture as well. So it becomes quite important for them to preserve their system, which will actually work for them like the rest of the country. So if we can move ahead with other issue in India, which we have discussed today, is that of a call or fed by the uh, ruling party, the ruling party in the center, BJP. They have threatened to shut off the entire North Bengal region. North Bengal region, the most prominent city in North Bengal region is Siliguri. And Siliguri is considered the choke point for the entire northeastern region, for the 7 states in the northeastern region. And it's quite critical for defenses in India as well. I mean, if the control over the chicken neck, as they call it, the region between Sikkim and Siliguri, as you see on the map, if the governments lose control over this, they basically have no access to the northeastern part of India, which is sandwiched between Bhutan to the north and Bangladesh to the south. Now, the scuffles between the opposition party in the state, that is BJP, which is actually in power in the center, between BJP and the party in power, Trinamool Congress, led by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, has been going on since 2014, since they came into power in the center. They are ideological rivals, BJP being a right-wing party and TMC being center-left and so-called pro-people. Now, these couples are primarily political than anything else. They are quite localized. So businesses in North Bengal region need to update themselves about how things are evolving at the ground level. The party cadre, both TMC and BJP, are quite belligerent. So disruptions can erupt at any moment, especially at the local level. The major cities in the region, Patna, that is capital city of Bihar, and Calcutta, are unlikely to be affected. However, we cannot rule out escalation in tensions between these two parties, which has happened before. The political violence is quite common in the state, and how they evolve is quite unpredictable at the moment. So if we were to proceed further with Bangladesh, Bangladesh economy came into focus, especially in the context of the South Asian economy as well as Asia Pacific, because of their importance in the textile sector or garment sector. Bangladesh houses some of the biggest industries which produce for the most popular brands across the world, especially the fast fashion brands like H&M and ASOS. So the factories are manned by dirt poor laborers who are actually protesting for their pay, and these factories are not always regulated. However, though the government has supervisory control over these factories need not always be regulated. And that basically lead to laborers on the strike every now and then. And that's precisely what has happened over the weekend and especially yesterday when police had to use force at Dhaka Press Club. The protests have been quite frequent, especially since the lockdown hit. Due to the lockdown, there has been a fall in demand in the Western markets, and that has affected the production cycle as well. When the production cycle is hit, the factories feel the most, I mean, the worst pinch of all, because some of these conglomerates, big companies like H&M, ASOS, or even Macy's, they may have financial prowess to survive a fall in demand, but the factories, they run on a day-to-day basis. Their costing is done on a day-to-day basis. Thus, thus the labor is affected. So businesses need to keep an eye on how the labor issues evolve in Bangladesh, especially the garment factory related labor issues. They are they're likely to hold the key for the economic prowess of the country, as well as the political stability in the country too. Paul, is there any questions from you on these issues?
No, not at the moment, Bhargav. I think that's a great coverage. Appreciate it. Just
Thank you,
in
Paul.
closing to Bhargav, I guess it's worth mentioning, we have both a subscription service and a membership service. Subscription, we only give to companies that already have analysts, so they know the analytical processes that we're utilising, and they already have a strong operations team. Membership is, obviously, we give dedicated support, responding to emails, have a dedicated Moxtra or WhatsApp channel with our clients, and produce rapid assessments. And you have direct engagement with our people right across the region that are decentralised throughout the region to offer a high level of service. You can contact us at info@apacassistance.com. Thank you, Mr. Reddy.
Thank you, Paul.